Hello and welcome to Hardcast. We will find out the most interesting backstory we've ever seen in the Valiant universe. I'm Humphrey Erm.
And I'm Christian Claus.
Lifeline. Give me Book of Death, Legends of the Geomancer.
I mean, you said it was your. I mean, you're saying that it's the most interesting one. I mean, that's pretty much your opinion, isn't it?
Yes, but, I'm the one saying it, so it's true.
All right then. Issue 1. In the caveman times, we meet Annie, a shaman who has been accused of betrayal and making the earth weird. One of her captors takes pity on her and offers food. This is Pada. Real nice. The cavemen take their prisoner to a sacrifice area to execute her. But she is able to make the executioner feel bad and free her instead. And as a thanks, she kills the executioner and attacks her captors. Except Pada, obviously.
Just wanted to bring a reminder then, as we were kind of joking about last episode. We're reading this as what's called collection of JPEGs, so that I got from a story time on CO.
Yes. And for those of you who are not aware of what that means Humphrey goes on 4chan.
Of course. At last, the true bastion of freedom online.
True. Sure.
And as you'll be seeing in the show notes, I'll actually have the tweets from Dinesh himself. So I have it here as a link and everything. But, just to kind of paraphrase here. Book of Death... Oh, no, yeah, because it's Twitter, so it's weird. The only essential books for that story are Book of Death, issue 1 through 4. Secondly, it's not reserved to those with the most money. A book like this will be available if you look hard enough. That's simply the world we live in today with the internet. Of course, this all assumes your main concern is making sure you can read the story. So yeah. It was a weird thing that they did. Like they wanted to sort of...
Wait, so I didn't quite understand what you meant there. So basically he says, if you want to read this volume, you can pirate it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, because there is no way of getting it legally without just going to eBay, which doesn't really help them.
Mm-hmm.
Which is always the thing, because the idea of, anti-piracy is the fact that you're still stealing money away from the producers of something.
Yeah.
And the fact that they've only made so many copies, only sold them in stores, never collecting them in a trade paperback. And on that front, though, I actually have the first 2 issues in what's called floppies.
Oh, really? So you're one of those. You can make so much money on eBay.
They're signed too.
What?
Yeah, no, it was way back. Can't really see the year here. It must have been like 2016 or I think. But there was this thing called Groupies, groupies.com. It's sort of like a Humble Bundle kind of competitor.
Mm-hmm.
And they had this thing here where you could... it was just a simple bundle with all these Valiant comics. If you had $50 minimum, you'd get this little box with goodies, which turned out to be these little action figures, I guess you could say, of Bloodshot and Exo Manowar. So along with some stickers, I think. I can't remember really. It was a mystery box, but yeah. But at the same time, they also had this auction. A terrible auction looking back at it. Where basically you had, let's see here, 10 tiers of the auction. So you'd have to basically increase your bid to get to the point you wanted to get the things you wanted at that tier. So number 1 was really cool because it's Valiant price pack valued at $1,000.
Damn.
And it included like all of these physical books that they would mail to you. Like really cool and a lot of them signed and stuff like that. So I was like, oh. So, and that was then taken at $605. But that's someone paid for. Me, myself, I mean, I would have loved to go for that, but yeah, a little too pricey for an unemployed guy.
Yeah, at the time you were unemployed, yeah.
Again, I had savings, but still, it felt a little too much for things. So I tried to do a little bit more. I feel kind of bad for the guy below me, because some guy had taken $200 to get the one I wanted, which was the Book of Death, Legends of the Geomancer 1 and 2. So signed by Valiant staff, as it says.
Oh, nice.
Along with Book of Death number 1, signed by Dinesh.
Ooh.
And I kind of sniped it from him, poor guy. I
You're
paid him
such a dick.
$206 to grab it right out of him right as it ended. And that's the worst thing with this kind of. I really at the time I was just blinded by like, oh, I want stuff. But this is such a terrible system of an auction because you're basically bidding so highly for something, then you might not get the thing, but you still have to pay what you bid for something less.
Oh wait, you have to pay for the thing that you didn't
Yeah,
get?
it's not like you're not bidding for the bids like the tiers themselves, like a lot of people bidding for tier 1, tier 2. It's like basically yes, everyone bidding for one thing, and whoever's paying most gets the top part of the bid or like of the tier.
Oh, that's
It's
horrible.
awful. Like again, I feel really bad for number 2 guy because he paid $535.
And he didn't get the one thing that he wanted, probably like the full thing.
Well, again, it's like a huge difference here because I'm looking at the price list, and again, number 1 is just like everything that's ever been published in book form almost.
Oh shit.
And then the poor guy who got number 2 with $535, he got Divinity number 1, what's called without like a variant cover, just 40 in existence, and another Divinity number 1, which is a 1 in 20 variant cover, like only 20 in existence. So he paid $535 for 2 comics that, like the contents themselves, would have been worth like maybe less than $10.
Yeah. No, damn.
Again, variants, but again, no, the variant market is very small. Like he did not come out of that like well.
Yeah, I don't think so. Damn.
So yeah, I felt really bad for the guy because that's the thing with an auction. If you don't, if your bid doesn't go through, because someone else outbid you, well, at least you have your money.
Right, right.
It's awful. Shame on you, groupies. Anyways, on to the comic.
Right. The reason that apparently people aren't here for.
Well, we have to keep up appearances.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this comic was really nice.
Again, just a good, complete story.
Well, I mean, like as a whole, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you mean the issue itself? You mean, or like the volume? Of course, is if you can call it that, since it's never been collected.
Right, right. No, but I just think it's really fun. I mean, just I like being in this time because it's so far away that we there's no points that we can kind of recognize in that sense. So yeah, it's just really really fun.
Well, yeah, it's just this very rough world. I mean, it's almost kind of like a lot of these kind of open world like sandbox games. There's this you're just in a huge world to adventure in, and the setup is just this setup where people are violent, people are dangerous.
Mm.
So it's kind of like justifies all the action that you'll be going through. And I don't know, there's something really cool. I gotta say, I gotta give props to what's his name, Juan Jose Rip. I don't know. So the penciler or like inker,
Mm.
because I mean, we've had him before, also for like Eternal Warrior stuff and such. But just love the disgustingness of his art. Not like disgusting, but he renders the hell out of things.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, just that warthog on the first page,
Yeah.
like it really like nice. And I don't know, it's just very lovely. It's just oh
Yeah, it just looks like a lot of fun. I mean, it's so good. I mean, there's so much stuff in here that just makes it so interesting, and I don't know. It's very refreshing.
yeah, but like the line work is really here because it's not very painted. The colorist has done a good job, but they haven't like messed with the lines or tried to like paint anything. It's not like stuff like we've seen like I mean Clayton Crane's a special case where he's actually is painting like digitally, but all the form and shape. I mean, especially if you look at the stuff at the end of the issues where they show off the what's called the process,
Yeah.
you can really see like how much he just draws. And I love the fact that apparently he just does a layout and then he inks immediately. At least according to the those like the transition pages he showed,
Right, right, right in the back there. Yeah.
which is pretty cool. Like the only other one I know who does that is Todd McFarlane, and even he does do like sketched pages, but just like very bare ones.
Well, we know how how good Scott McFarlane is.
No, Todd.
Todd, whatever, same difference.
So no, but just
But he's the guy who drew the who draws the weird like Captain America things, right?
no. That's Rob Liefeld.
Oh, who's Scott McFarlane?
Todd McFarlane is
Who's
Spawn.
who's who's Scott McFarlane?
There is no Scott McFarlane.
Who's Scott McFarlane, dude?
You're thinking of Scott McCloud, maybe.
Scott McFarland.
I mean, there may be one, but it's not any of these we're talking about. Todd McFarlane. So it's the creator of Spawn, and again,
I thought the guy who created Spawn was also the guy who doesn't know how to draw.
no, that's Rob Liefeld.
Rob, Todd, whatever.
At least they're all part of Image, so you had that connection at least.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, he made a comic called Alter Boys.
I guess. I don't know everything he's done.
Oh yeah, there. Rob Liefeld is in the same people also searched for.
Well, again, they were part of those people who left Marvel to make Image.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, did you see that video? I don't know if you saw that video, but there was a person because you were talking about how you had the like how the layouts went straight to inking and straight to colors.
Yeah.
And there was this person who was trying to show how different art is depending on how much time you have for it. So he basically drew the same picture of like Spider-Man's bust, but with different time limits to show kind of like, well, if you as a producer or if as a money guy or whatever want an artist to do something in a certain amount of time, and if he tells you it's going to take him like 10 minutes to do it, and you tell him that he has 1 minute to do it, this is the difference that you're going to get. And it looked really nice because, when he did the 10-minute thing, he sketched out like everything and, did all these pencils first. And then he went with the ink and 10 minutes, perfect drawing, like just beautiful. And then then he did it in 1 minute or in 5 minutes or something like that. And it was just like, he didn't do any sketching. He just went straight to inks. And you could see how bad it was. So I don't know. I mean, when I'm looking at this stuff now with the inks and colors straight away, I'm thinking to myself that there's no way he just does inks, right?
I mean, it's not like he has the layout you see in the page there, like in the corner. So it's not like he's doing it totally out of nowhere.
Yeah, but that's just layout.
I mean, according to the pages here, we could, maybe we can tweet the guy and see.
Yeah, why don't you do that?
But it's not totally out of left field. I know, for example, this French artist that I have. I'm kind of showing off all my stuff now. But I got this book signed by a French artist when I was in Annecy in 2012, I believe. Yes, 12 or 13. I'm having trouble remembering. No, 12. And again, he shows a lot of his. He draws traditionally, but he does like live streams with a camera, and he just draws things from the get-go on ink. I don't know about his actual comics he makes, but the guy can draw something amazing just with ink, like without any mistakes.
All right.
That's usually what the issue is, because you haven't planned it out, you don't have something to follow. You'll notice that, oh crap, I'm drawing in ink, and now suddenly I realize I don't have enough space to fit this arm inside a panel based on how it started.
Right.
But I think if you're, I'm not going to say talented enough, but experienced enough, I think you might do the pencil stage in your head. Like you can actually visualize the page and see here, 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 and here. Because again, it's definitely good art.
Yeah, maybe. Honestly, I'm looking at the layouts and I'm just thinking to myself man, if only I could draw that well. Like the sketchy way that he's doing it. I mean, I could draw so many, because that could be its own style, really. Like just this very sketchy kind of layout your entire comic, and then just have that as here's the free version of my comic because I don't have time or energy or skills to ink and color it.
No, it's not impossible. I mean, people do draw in different styles, which also fits into that kind of thing you were mentioning about time and such.
Yeah. Oh, well.
But I guess based on how we're talking in general, this first issue, not that it's devoid of a plot or story, but it's just if this was a whole movie, this whole 4-issue story, this would have been just the first 15 minutes or something.
Yeah.
It's just a little setup, so we kind of get like there's a mystery. Who is this woman? We as fans, of course, are foreshadowed with that warrior called Pada.
Yeah, Anipada. I thought they were going to have sex.
Yeah, that's the one thing I kind of wrote down as well. I mean, we can get to that at the end maybe, but because I was also wondering, like, did they do it? I don't think I saw it.
No, I don't. No, they didn't. I mean, also, I don't think the Anipada brothers are her children.
Oh no, but she was pregnant later.
Yeah, but I don't think they were her children.
So what were they?
They were just part of the Anipada clan.
Oh, like yes, so more like they're just adopted, or
No, 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 just from that clan.
but there was no like he Pada was part of the Nurgle cult, so he had no
Yeah.
clan.
No. All right, well, we'll talk about this in the last issue then,
Okay,
because they literally say it in that issue.
okay, maybe I misunderstood it then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, not much happened. I mean, it was just very much just setting up this world, and yeah, it was just a nice little thing.
yeah, he just did a good job with that.
I do kind of like the idea that they didn't like the way that she was, the way to show that kind of she is a little bit violent. You know, obviously to survive in this kind of world, you have to be somewhat violent, and I feel her decision to kick off the executioner down that thing and still like keep her word in that sense. It's kind of a risky move to make her the heroine for like an audience of like our generation. You know what I mean? Like in this time, because we always want to have our heroes be like clean cut and just be nice, or have like be actually like as dark as Batman is, he's still righteous. You know?
Well, they have to have the moral high ground.
Exactly, and I feel like on this, I love that she isn't necessarily on the moral high ground at all, and the way, like just the way that she like kicked him down and stuff, and but still kept her promise. I think that was a really nice way of doing it.
Yeah, but again, that's as you said before too. That's this world, and again, it kind of showcases it. I mean, it's one of the
Yeah.
reasons I think people really like Game of Thrones. Like there is this semblance of a civilization, of course. I mean, there's civilization, but there is no like, how would you say, like federal unified like laws or police force, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So things like a murder can, might not even be investigated if it's like amongst the lower class or something.
Yeah, of course.
As well as the idea of, in some of like the houses and societies, these kind of actions are fine to do. I mean, well, like that guy up in the north with all the daughters. I mean, sure, maybe some people would have sort of allowed that just because of like the greater good in that sense.
Wait, what are you talking about?
That guy who impregnates his daughters, who lives like in the past the wall.
Oh, you mean in Game of
Yeah,
Thrones? Oh God, I totally missed that you talked about Game of Thrones. I was like, who the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, I know, yeah.
that's like such an awful thing. But in this kind of scenario, like even if people are disgusted, there's no real, as it would be today, so to speak. It's just like, oh man, that's. Anyways, it's this raw. It's this raw primalness that just makes it very interesting because it's so
Mm-hmm.
foreign to us. All right. Issue 2. Annie keeps slaughtering the Nurgle cult, with Pada joining in as a traitor. The altar starts breaking and collapsing, killing the rest. And just as Nurgle is to slay Pada, his speaker slits his throat. Said speaker is apparently disabled and named Cuff, which means snake. The trio travel the land to find what Annie is being drawn to by the voices, until they come to a frozen cave where a tree with glowing fruits is located. Once she eats one of the fruits, the tree grabs her and starts assimilating her. All the while, a giant starts climbing out of the pit below. Again, this is like the talky one. Like we have this big action like prologue sort of,
Yeah.
and now it's suddenly like a lot of talking, and I love it.
Yeah, I like it too. I mean, it's always kept very interesting.
Cuff is my favorite.
Of course he is.
So little panda man.
Yeah.
Did you not think so too?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I also feel like I think my brother's girlfriend also sometimes has her hair like that. So I had to keep on thinking of her. But yeah.
All right. I don't know. I like the idea of like that could be something fun, like a kid for Halloween or something.
Mm.
Like he wants to be tough or something like that. Like yeah, I'm gonna be like have a skull on my face. But then he keeps like these little like buns or whatever in his hair, and people are like, oh look, it's a panda. Like no, no, I'm a skull. That was just kind of cool. It's just little lines. Like I'm not sure about like the voice, like what that would be. I almost kind of seeing like a bit of like a sort of Smeagol-ish voice.
Yeah.
Like not so extreme, but a little bit. You're going to make me regret changing sides immediately. That's awful.
No, that's okay. That's kind of what I was thinking about.
All right, but yeah, just fun, and then the sadness too. It turns out that Nurgle was his father.
Well, that's not sad, is it?
So no, but no, in terms of how he's been treated, not the fact that Nurgle died. But again, that kind of scenario there, where I mean, except for Pada, who seems to be, I guess, the most privileged of the three. So they all kind of have like this outcastness about them.
Yeah.
As Annie says, she's what's called sterile or barren, as they would say. And he's disabled. He can't move his legs. In such a world, that's like a death sentence.
Well, not a death sentence. I mean, as she said, she would just be passed around from guy to guy.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, you're right. I take it back. It was fine.
Yeah, exactly. So that's okay. I mean, it's like a nice life, Gets to have a lot of sex.
Exactly. On her terms.
No, it doesn't matter, Humphrey.
Right. This is pre-women lib. Nah, I don't know. I like this trio. Just honestly, I feel Valiant does that a lot, where they'll have a scenario that they won't keep too long. Because honestly, I'd like to have like an adventure with these three. You have like the leader in Annie, and like all the like sort of Geomancer powers. And then you've got like the big guy, Pada, who like, is the muscle of the team. And then we got like the talker there, Kaf. I don't know, it's like, yeah, I want to see these guys' adventures.
I mean, they've done so many of these things. It's just, there's so many things that I wish that they would make into actual series. Like, I mean, even just the World War I Unity. Why hasn't that been a thing yet?
At least a proper mini series, so we can have a volume, like either like a really big adventure or just for self-contained stories to just kind of give us our fill.
Yes, exactly.
Well, it's up to Valiant.
Unless we infiltrate and take over.
So how will people be able to tell? I think that was supposed to be a jab at the quality, but we do like the quality, so.
Exactly. How are you? I was just trying to think, like, how was that a joke?
Yeah, no, it wasn't very good. So, but yeah, no, just I mean, again, this whole volume has had a nice pace, I feel. Again, as usual, it's nicer reading it all in one go, especially with the first issue, the way it ends. Like, I mean, again, it's a cool ending. It's just that, oh yeah, she's gonna kick some ass. But then waiting a month, and then the same thing here too. Again, it's a great cliffhanger. You really get the size here with the giant climbing up. But yeah, I don't know. It's cool.
Issue 3. Pada and Kuth quickly kill the giant. Annie comes back to life as what I'm assuming is the first Geomancer. Everywhere she steps, she creates life. She even gives Kuth the ability to walk using her plants. The other giants are running amok and killing people. In response, Annie creates a pestilence that kills and destroys any evidence that giants ever existed. Way to think ahead, I guess. Either way, Pada and Kuth are not happy with this, and even though Ani is now pregnant and in need of a strong father figure, Pada runs off in a huff.
I couldn't help but think of that scene from, I think it's the Two Towers.
Maybe.
So now when Pada throws Cuff, toss
Oh,
me,
yeah.
toss me,
Toss me.
but don't tell the elf. But again, just a nice moment. Like, it's obviously that would have been enough to, strike someone down like that if we were that giant, so to speak. And also props on that panel of the actual like slash in the eye. Oh,
Yes. Oh my god.
so uncomfortable.
Squish.
Yes. Ugh. Like, you could have done it so much more stylish, from a profile with a silhouette or something.
Mm.
Nope. There you go. Right in the pupil. So, but then again, I'm just really, again, it's not like Valiant tends to have like just really good artists on their books.
Yeah.
It's very rare for us to be like, oh man, how did this guy get a job?
Oh, well, except for that one time, remember? Jesus.
Oh, Quantum and Woody, I think.
Yeah, one of those quantum. Oh my god.
Yeah, Volume 2. Which is funny, that's the one I never really thought of it as much. But yeah, there's, for the most part, they have like really good artists on these books. I honestly wonder how they manage that. Like, are they giving a good deal in terms of like price or?
Or maybe they're finding indie artists that, Marvel and DC don't want to pay for or something like that. I don't know.
I don't know about that. Maybe. I've looked up some of these artists after we've reviewed the book sometimes, or discussed the books, I guess better.
Mm.
So then plenty of them have worked on Marvel and DC before.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Maybe it's because on Marvel and DC we have such a, I don't know, maybe it's just so typical to see it. Like, we expect it to be amazing. It's like with let's compare Marvel movies and or Marvel comics and Valiant comics to Hollywood movies and indie movies. A Hollywood movie, you expect a certain type of visual effects and a certain type of look, right? And then when an indie movie does that, you're like, oh my god, how did they do this? This is amazing.
So it's more about the circumstances.
Yeah, I think so. Honestly, if we saw this artist work on Marvel, we'd be like, yeah, it's a good artist, but what do you expect? Because it's Marvel.
Well, today I would be surprised. Nah, sorry, Marvel. As you kind of have had some mediocre artists lately.
Oh yeah, I haven't been keeping track.
Yeah, it's a mix. When they publish so many books, I guess, yes, pure statistics mean that they.
Yeah, that might also be it. That they just have so many books that the bad art just kind of gets hidden. Yeah,
that makes sense. Otherwise everyone would want Alex Ross, I guess. Oh damn, Valiant, get Alex Ross to do some like covers at least. I would imagine in his like super realistic painterly style. Like when he actually looks like cloth and stuff. Oh, so good.
Yeah, no, but do you think they could afford him?
Oh, at least for covers. That's the thing with him. He barely does interiors anymore.
Yeah, of course.
It's so damn expensive and takes long too.
Yeah.
Like I have that one he did, that DC comic, Justice. I think it was like a 4-issue like miniseries, and all painted by him, and so good. But damn. I think it was 2 or 3 months between issues.
Oh, jeez.
I got it as a trade paperback, so I didn't have any issue with that. But it makes sense, right? If he's gonna be painting on canvases or whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry, just struck me there. Like, I'd love to see like Exo Man of War painted like that.
Oh my god! I was just thinking to myself, like, because I'm looking for some posters to buy and print for my new apartment to put up and stuff like that. And I thought, oh man, that would be awesome to get like an Alex Ross painting, or just like, just a print, Yeah,
not an original.
Yeah, and I found one from Aquaman called Shadows Aquaman. It looks incredible, and I really want to get it. $1,025.
Yeah.
on a velvet canvas.
Damn.
I mean, there's some that I'm looking through here, and there's some that's like $150 and stuff like that. But damn, oh man, I really want to get it though. It looks so nice.
Set up a GoFundMe.
Yeah,
I'm sure people will,
right.
what's called, sympathize with your situation.
Sure, totally. Oh shit. Sort by price, low to high. The lowest thing he has is a $40 DC hardcover sketchbook.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool, but, it's not something to put on the wall.
No. Hey, there's a DC Heroes Portrait Series Aquaman poster signed for $50.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be signed, man. Anyway, I'm not going to do my shopping on the podcast.
One thing I gotta say, though, as well, which is the typical thing with these kinds of monsters, with the giants.
Mm.
So I just love that any one of these giants are at least modest enough to have loincloths. I mean, it's fine. I get it. I guess I wouldn't really, especially in this style, I'm not sure I want to see a super detailed giant dick. But it just does amusing things. We have these people, this race of people living in the pit, and they're like awake, and it's like, oh, guys, remember, put on your loincloths. All right, there we go.
Ugh, dude, don't think too much about it.
I know. I can help it though. I just find it amusing. I mean, like someone like the Thing, for example, makes sense because he's a human, who became like that. So him having modesty would make sense.
Oh my god.
And then of course you have the Hulk as the usual, people asking how his pants remain. Just saying. I'm asking questions.
No, you're not. You're making stupid points because the answer is so obvious. Because you can't have giant dicks flopping around in a comic book.
Well, it depends which ones.
Yeah, well, yeah.
No, I understand. But then to make it clear, then
they don't have giant dicks.
Oh yeah, no, that's the opposite right now. The opposite organs here now. What's called Annie just kind of magically became pregnant now, right?
Yes.
So because I was wondering that myself, like, okay, they did not do anything during this trip, I'm assuming, because she wasn't like that when she got grabbed.
No. And how would like 6 months happen in like, or 9 months happen in like, whatever?
Well, it's the olden days. They didn't know if things could be quicker.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So basically, yes, because she's barren, and I mean that's the whole thing. Like the butterflies flying around her stomach and stuff. I mean, the Earth Mother gave her, a child to bear so that she can then start a generation of new people or something like that.
Exactly. Issue 4. We skip forward quite a few years and see Annie has mothered 3 children, the Annie Para brothers, as well as founded a city. Said brothers are defending said city from Nurgle's cult, effectively. As Cuff is berating the brothers, a mysterious hooded figure enters the palace, confronting Annie. Turns out it's Pada, who's come to kill her. He succeeds, and Gilad manages to kill his father. She grants him the power that will make him the Eternal Warrior, as well as leaving the book that we will know as the Book of Death. Well, again, this is how I wrote it, so let's see if you can explain then, because I must have misunderstood here.
Yeah, you did, I think. I mean, so here's the thing. So she's pregnant, right?
Yeah.
And she wants to have a father figure. She didn't say, a father or whatever like that. So in the thing she says, my children's clan will need the name of a strong father. Right? So that would be then the Ani Pada, clan.
Yeah, that I understood. Right.
But so basically she just wanted someone to be like a strong father for them. And then he leaves and joins the death group again.
Yeah, no, that I understand. Like, I understand that he wasn't the actual father to them.
Right. And then, so the next thing is, nowhere in the text do they mention that they are, that she is their children. So in the first page, or it's the first page where she writes, but now having waited for so long, the Anipada clan and their descendants and their descendants have at last begotten the champions we deserve. So not only if they are any way related, I mean, they must be related directly to Ani in some way,
Oh, so they're not the first.
but not her children, but it's her descendants and her descendants' descendants that then brought the champions.
You're right. So these aren't the. I was gonna say the first draft. But they're not the first generation. So this is at least 3-4 generations from the point we
Down.
last saw.
Yeah. Yes.
And considering the kind of like time period, I guess the generations would be a bit quicker, I guess, somehow.
Yeah.
Because they probably don't live as long, with the exception of these three, as we'll see.
Huh?
Well, these people don't live that long, with the exception of these three brothers, as we know.
Well, true. Yeah. But then again, I mean, if you look at it, it seems that they do mention quite a few times that both of those two are very old. Like that, it does seem like they aged longer than they should. Both of them have said. I mean, I think Kuth at some point did mention that he's been kept alive by her much longer than he should be.
Yes, Annie, you foolish girl, stop. You've kept me alive this long.
Right. And then not only that, but also just the fact that when Gilad comes into attack, when he goes to her, he never calls her mom or anything. It's just great matriarch and mistress. It's never mother or anything like that.
Okay, yeah, just I guess part of the feeling was the fact that this whole city is so empty. I'm assuming everyone has evacuated because of the attack. But it just kind of feels like it's just those 5 living there. So you just assume then that those 3 were her like immediate sons, so to speak. So, but yeah, no, you're definitely right with those captions and such. It makes sense.
And also the fact that they talk about Pada in a very distant sense. Like it's just a legendary warrior that they've heard about. Never anything like this is your father or anything like that. So
if he was as great a warrior as you say, he would have lived to be as tedious as you.
I love that one. Such a shame. One brother blessed with brain, the other blessed with brawn, and the other is blessed with a pain in my ass.
We can't say ass, Chris.
Oh yeah, sure. Just the killing and maiming is okay, but
that's what I mean. It's just such an. I love those 3 brothers. I think they're actually. Honestly, those 3 brothers really are sort of like the cornerstone of the Valiant universe in a way.
Oh yeah.
Now, when you think about it, in terms of the immortality thing, kind of makes them be part of everything, even if they're not directly.
Yeah.
Especially then with what's called Ivar with his time traveling and such, but specifically Gilad. The fact that he from these points here. I mean, this is pre-immortality. Right. So he must become immortal at that point. Oh, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Sorry, just because we're gonna find out later with that new Eternal Warrior comic that's gonna come for us.
Yeah.
We're gonna understand how the immortality works.
Okay.
And rereading this now and like comparing to then the opening to Archer and Armstrong Volume 1. When Ivar has set up the boon and is gonna use it to revive Gilad.
Yeah.
So like the whole setup there with him lying dead and stuff, and then that he does become the Eternal Warrior. So that makes sense then. Good going, editors.
Well, not only that, but I mean, I love how like every time he fails to save a Geomancer, he gets a scar on his face. And now he got the 3 lines of blood on his face.
Oh man, I feel so stupid. I didn't even think of that.
You didn't even think about that?
No.
Oh god, it's so good.
It wasn't quite so in your face. I mean, she does it.
Yeah.
But it's not, it's not like a huge splash panel.
Yeah, I know, but still, isn't it? It's so good. It's so good. I just love it so much.
So they kind of had a little bit of a foreshadowing there with their quote unquote father as well.
Yeah, where the head splits apart, like the
No, no, with in issue one, I think, when those birds attack, he also
yeah.
gets some like scars on his face, but the opposite direction.
Oh, really? I didn't notice that.
Yeah, again, not as big of a deal, but I was thinking that must also be like a thing there.
Well, but then again, he doesn't. He's not the father, so there's no real
Well,
connection.
well, it's like what's called cosmic kind of fatherhood, like because he was present, he kind of gave off a bit.
I guess.
I don't know. But then I didn't think about this when I read it though. But apparently he is the immortal enemy. The what's called the father Pada.
Oh, really?
Like apparently that's supposed to be the thing with his head being split.
Yeah, yeah. I was about to say that because I mean, he did split his head the same way.
Yeah, like that's how all his forms he takes that they kind of like carve open, like separate. But I feel they could have made that a bit. I don't know about clearer. I mean, I almost kind of wanted to have it a little less of a less subtlety. And just had no matter what, my child. So I will be forever your immortal enemy. I mean, again, very very cheap, but it would just kind of set it up. So like, yes, of course, you know, the immortal enemy's first kill.
Yeah.
When the immortal enemy killed the first, Geomancer. I don't know. That's it. Just it works really well.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think about it when I read it first. I mean, obviously, when we were talking a little bit about more the like the bloody face and stuff like that, I kind of started thinking like, oh yeah, this could be some sort of mirroring stuff here. But and then when you mentioned it, yeah, I was also like, oh yeah, this could be the immortal enemy, especially with the heads being split open, and then also his dialogue kind of makes more sense now. You know, um, the ending is the only meaning, the only reason we regain or began, I guess.
Mm.
Come, boy, make my victory complete. That's the thing.
So yeah, no, it's just I don't know. It just I mean, this whole volume, so to speak, is just so incredibly solid. I feel.
Mm.
I mean,
It's a shame that it is not, in that sense, more read because it's an illegal copy in that sense. Like you can't find it easily, so to speak.
exactly. There's no legal way of obtaining it besides buying it used. Like honestly, I'm curious. I'm just gonna have a little quick.
Do you want to maybe put it in the show notes?
Oh yeah, sure. Well, I'll see if I can find it somewhere. Or yeah, yeah, sure. We can share it.
Yeah, we can just put it on a Dropbox or in a Google Doc or something like that, and people can download it.
Yes, let's.
All right.
So I'm just having a quick peek here on eBay for Legends of the Geomancer. Oh dang, some kind of pricey. Book of Death, Legends of the Geomancer, #1. Oh, I'm getting Danish prices here. So, but that first issue from the United States, I can get for 1,370 kroner.
Which is
I guess it will be around $100 or something.
damn for one issue.
So yeah, and let's see here. Issue 3. Oh, issue 3 was a lot cheaper here. 121 kroner, which would be about like $10 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Still more than cover price. I guess they're different qualities, or just the people selling them have different ideas. But all of them are for more than cover price, which again makes sense if you're selling it.
Yeah, 120 Danish crowns is 16 euros, or about.
Mm. That's the thing there. I'm not going to go through this trouble just to get some, sheets of paper, so to speak.
Yeah.
Again, not saying that they're not, that they're not worth their cover price or whatever. And for collectors, I understand if they want to have like the whole Valiant collection. But I don't know. It's just, I mean, again, even if I had this book, because again, I usually don't read Valiant story times unless they're ones I already have. That's how much I respect Valiant.
Yeah.
I just get excited if I see someone. Oh, cool! They're story timing. Archer and Armstrong, Volume 1. Let's see what people say. Oh, no one's saying anything. No discussion.
So, for those not familiar with the 4chan lingo, because we're not all deviants like you. What does story timing mean?
Oh, just someone posts one image at a time in those threads.
So they basically post a page per image.
Yeah, per post. So yeah, it'll be the cover, and then the next page, and the next page, and the next page, and people usually read along. So and might comment on things as they read. So and also it's considered very bad form for someone to post other images.
Okay.
Like even if it's like like a reaction image to show like, oh, good job, man. It kind of it kind of breaks the flow of seeing all the image comics there.
Hmm.
Not to be confused with the publisher image comics.
Yeah. So the Book of Life, has that been mentioned before, or am I just...
I think the Book of Life is just the Book of Death.
Oh, I thought it was supposed to be the Book of Life.
No, but I think that's kind of like how it starts here, because it's the origin. So this is like how it started, and then the book that Tama has is like the end of everything.
Uh, so like every Geomancer kind of writes into it then?
Yeah, but we've only seen the book from the Valiant and like in the Book of Death, like her holding the book.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna have a quick peek on that just to see. Okay, here we go. Okay, I can compare. Well, I'm not sure if this is a misdrawing or anything, but the symbol's reversed in the Book of Death,
Ooh.
but it doesn't feel like super noticeable. You know what I mean? I mean, it's very symmetrical otherwise, so I'm not sure if it's just different artists drawing them different direction. Especially in this case where we only see it for one panel in the.
Mm.
So not sure if it's significant or not, but the same sort of little spirally thing with the edges.
Oh, okay. Well, perfect. Well, that was nice. That was a nice little comic.
Yeah, no, it's great. Again, I'm really looking forward to seeing this artist again in that new Eternal Warrior comic.
Well, I'm just looking forward to the new Eternal Warrior.
Again, it's a good one. So it's written by the Exo-Manowar guy.
Ugh. No, I'm joking. It's probably going to be great.
Yeah, because I think that's around the time he switches over because he finishes his run on Exo-Manowar. And then he's on to... Ah, man, it's kind of interesting because I've always been interested in the writers and such. But it's rare for me to keep track of like their careers as it's going. You know what I mean? Kind of like, all right, he's working on this now. Because he's been working on Green Lantern a lot too.
Oh, that's nice.
Which I guess kind of makes sense then with his... wouldn't surprise me if some of his Exo-Manowar ideas are some stuff from Green Lantern that he maybe skipped or something.
Yeah.
So that's the stuff that DC was like, no, dude, we can't have Lantern Hunters. Which they kind of had anyways with the Manhunters, but... Oh my god, the Armor Hunters are just the Manhunters.
There are no original ideas.
Sure there are. And then I'll say something and then it'll turn out it's not. So how about a man dressed up as a flying rodent?
That's so stupid. No one will ever go for that.
Exactly. Nah. But yeah, I mean, funnily, it's kind of funny though. When the book's good, we will gush about things, but it kind of teeters off a bit.
Well, because there's no debate to have. We're just like, yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good. All right, cool.
That's true. Yeah, the best debate, and you're right. Even when it's both negative, we both just fuel that.
Yeah.
And if it's either or, then we argue, and that also takes up time.
But that's why we should definitely start talking about just other shit that comes to our mind and just let us go free.
Oh no, certainly. I mean, as long as it doesn't come like totally out of left field.
And we start talking about meditation and yoga. Become a sports podcast.
Well, we kind of did that last time, right? With the Ninjak volume? Or the
Yeah, but only like because I shouted at you for being so stupid.
So, but yeah, that's what I mean though with things like that. It's that's how it can go with these things. But yeah, and I had a really good time. And this also marks the end of the Book of Death event. Nice and concise.
Mm-hmm.
Not a huge, reading list. Not like all the other books having to now do this story or something. So Manowar didn't have to have 4 issues about him having to fight the Eternal Warrior or something. And price wise too, if you consider buying these as they came out, it simply would have been. Let's see. I'm actually not sure what the exact price is on these. Let me have a quick peek. That doesn't say on the cover. I'm assuming they would have been like $3.99 or something.
Yeah, something like that. That sounds about right.
That seems to be like the standard price, except for DC that's lower than the $2.99. So base DC. But yeah, I mean, it would have been like it would have been free books a month that you'd pay for then. So it would have been a little bit over $10 a month to be part of this event, so to speak.
That's not bad at all.
So yeah, man, I really wish to catch up so I can kind of join in on the like current events and stuff. Because that's the thing, there's a reason they're called events. It's supposed to be an event. You're supposed to take part of it. Like I was going to do it with the 4001 AD, but then I can't remember what happened. But something I didn't buy the next one, and then I forgot, and then it was over.
Oh, Humphrey.
I mean, I did read it later, and it was great. But yeah.
Well, the next event then, you can maybe have like a little section on this podcast where you, like at the end of the episode, you spend a little bit. I leave, and you spend a little bit of time just gushing about how awesome the latest issue was of the crossover.
All right, and I'll say something so in case you listen to the podcast later. It's like, okay, Chris, don't listen to this.
Yeah, right.
But then I'm just bad mouthing you, but you don't dare listen in case you like are suspicious of that.
Man, you suck. I'm pretty sure some of the fans would then let me know.
So but you'll see what they're writing there, and they'll say, "No, wait, Chris, when Humphrey's actually supposed to be saying this, and you're like, no.
Yeah.
So blocked."
Mm-hmm. Actually, they did do that whole thing on like a Detective Conan podcast that I used to listen to.
Oh, really?
Because one of the guys didn't watch the anime in Japan. He only watched it in Germany, and then he would read the mangas. So then basically when they would get to like the spoiler time, and then the guy would leave.
Well, we'll see how it goes. I mean, I'm still behind. So I bought a lot of comics now on the sale they had. So, but I'm still haven't gotten to read them yet. Good thing they're digital.
Oh man, this is going to turn into one of those Steam things where you just buy all these Steam games and then...
It was cheap.
You know what the worst thing is? I bought Overwatch because there was like a sale, like a ridiculous sale. It was like 70% off or something like that. So I bought it thinking like, well, I've been planning on getting a new computer for like 2 years now or 1.5 years now. And maybe I can, get the money together to buy one in the next couple of months. And then I got slapped with the new apartment bills, and oh my God. Do you know how freaking expensive it is to move?
Well, it depends if you have a lot of stuff.
No, not because of the stuff, but like there's so many bills that you have to pay, like so many extra things that just come up out of nowhere. And it's just like, it's all this stuff that I never thought about, all these fees and extra costs. And like I have to pay I have to pay 3 months of rent as a down payment.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
Yeah, I know it's the thing, but it's just like the 3 months of rent. It's just like, oh my God, that's a lot of money.
Well, at least you got Overwatch cheap at the time. But I get what you mean. It's like buying a game for a console you don't own.
Right, with the hopes that you're going to get the console sometime in the future.
Mm.
And a lot of stuff that there's so many things that we need to buy that's still coming up. Like I need a new washing machine and the like closets and tables and stuff like that. And then it's just like, hey, I finally have enough money to buy a computer. Oh wait, we need to buy a washing machine instead. It's like, no. I want to be a child again where all the money I have could buy me fun stuff.
I don't see the difference. That's what I do.
Yeah, well, because you're also a man-child, Humphrey.
So, well, have fun.
Yeah, and thanks to that, we can actually make this podcast because you can actually afford the comics, and
that's true.
I can't.
Well, I actually like them, so it's not no skin off my back or whatever you say.
All right, perfect. All right, well, now we need to finish it up because there is a football game waiting.
Aha, so that's why you wanted to record earlier.
My girlfriend's favorite team is playing the Patriots tonight, and if they win, they will be going to the Super Bowl.
Woo!
And my favorite team plays at midnight, and I'm not going to watch it because I have to go to bed because I have to go to work tomorrow. Go Vikes.
Yeah.
So you can discuss this episode on Reddit, tweet us, or you can follow us on Facebook. Also, all of our episodes are available on our hosting site, Podbean. Links are in the show notes. And thank you very much, Humphrey, for editing the last episode. You did a very good job. And from now on, Humphrey will be editing all the episodes.
All right.
So if there's an editing mistake, contact Humphrey. Not that there will be any, because he's a very good editor. Catch us next time for
Bloodshot Reborn, Volume 2. The Hunt.